Just a quick one, if I could, on going back to Pierre. How did he react to your conversation, everything in the past few days? And are you pleased with where things are now moving forward?
Really positively. That's why I said that this is over, that we move forward in a positive way, and there is no more comments to make on that.
But he's perfectly happy that it's behind him. He's happy that Sunday is where it is, basically.
He trained really well the last 2 days. He was smiling as usual, as we always expect from Oba, and it's all good.
The situation is slightly different tomorrow. You got a bigger lead, more away goals, but just wonder, when you look back on how you went out last year, what you sort of take away from that and the things you need to avoid.
Well, we went out because the tie was open, and then we had to manage the game in the last few minutes. We conceded 2 set pieces on that day, and we missed some big chances. And when you do that, at the end, these ties are defined in both boxes. And we didn't define the tie when we had the opportunities. So we know that to go through tomorrow, we're going to have to do that better.
You spoke after the game on Sunday about how badly the team managed the last 10 minutes. Obviously, it's a similar situation in terms of having the lead tomorrow. What do they need to do differently to manage the game and to control it?
Everything different. That's what we did on Sunday against the 10 men. Stop giving simple balls away, stop putting ourselves in trouble, and give a clear direction on where we want to have the ball in those minutes, and play simple, and be sure that we can win and manage the situation much better than we did.
Is that a mentality or composure thing? Because they've obviously got the technical skill to do it. So where does it go in those last 10 minutes?
Sometimes happens. Sometimes you see that sometimes 1 or 2 actions leads to give some momentum to the opponent. You get a little bit more tense, and you can start to have the fear of losing something. And it's much better energy to have the energy to win what you already have, and not think about just maintaining and not losing, because then you start to play much more restricted and lose the flow of the game and your confidence. And it's something that we cannot do.
We mentioned earlier the international break that's coming up, and obviously we know it's quite difficult to balance the fixture schedule both domestically and internationally in the pandemic. But given that the World Cup is in just over a year and a half, three games in 6 days, it's a bit much, isn't it?
Well, I think it's a bit too much in general in a normal year. So in this year, I think becomes something really dangerous with the amount of minutes that these boys have played in such a short time with no preparation. I don't think it's right, but we're not going to change it. The decision has been made. The games are going to be played. So it's just about how we protect our players the best possible way.
Do you trust all the federations to look after your players properly in this situation?
I always want to trust them. We will communicate with them. We will send them the state of our players and try to maintain an open discussions to try to manage the load the best possible way, and don't change too much the things that they are used to doing.
Just a quick one, if I could, on going back to Pierre. How did he react to your conversation, everything in the past few days? And are you pleased with where things are now moving forward?
Really positively. That's why I said that this is over, that we move forward in a positive way, and there is no more comments to make on that.
But he's perfectly happy that it's behind him. He's happy that Sunday is where it is, basically.
He trained really well the last 2 days. He was smiling as usual, as we always expect from Oba, and it's all good.
Good. Thanks, Mikel.
And finally, Mark Owen.
Hi, Mikel. Just briefly, talking about the internationals next week, are any of your players not going to be travelling because of coronavirus restrictions?
Well, the ones that are going to be in red zone countries, obviously, they won't be able to play those games or those fixtures. The rest, we have to allow them to go if they are fit. and we will stick to the protocols and all the guidance that we have to try to allow our players to go when they are safe.
I was just wondering how many of those players are there in red zone areas. I've got no idea anymore.
We have a few marked that some of them they might be able to play one game and not the next game. So it's a lot still to figure it out. The doc is in constant communication with the Premier League and the federations, but it's not too simple.